I don't mind if I do play this at all, Stoker.
Team, I want to share with you a couple questions that I am prone to ask soldiers during a promotion board, competition board, or even just when I'm out walking around and talking to some folks. Sometimes I think we get tripped up, we get hemmed up because we don't understand that there's a potential follow-on question. And these are two questions that are easy to become tripped up on, if you will. They're easy to take for granted that the answer that you give is going to be the end of the story. And I have found in my experience that these are two questions that a lot of people can't get right. They can maybe get half of it right, but then they can't get the other half right. So let's dig in to the very first one. Right? So the very first question is, and neither one are straightforward. Yep. The first one, well, it's kind of straightforward. So the first one is, you're getting ready to plan and prepare and execute a class on land navigation. What is one skill that you want your students to take away from that class? Right? Does that make sense? It's a pretty straightforward answer. Now, I've heard all kinds of responses from, how to determine a location if you don't know where you're at, like doing resection. Because I've heard how to preset compass and do all kinds of things, right? But there's a follow-on question, right? And the follow-on question is, okay, so now we've identified the one thing that you want your soldiers to know.
For a minute.
How do you do that thing?
I do it like this right here.
You said on the front end that this is the one specific task. It didn't have to be land navigation. It could be anything. This is the one specific task that you believe every soldier needs to know. They need to be trained and proficient at.
There's one Jocko.
So how do you do it?
About training, the motivation.
And this is where
you can train all that.
People began to get hemmed up.
Careful with the photon gluons.
One dude, again, I want to determine the location of an unknown location. I say, well, okay, well, how do you do that? Well, first I'm going to, orient my map and do some terrain association, and I'm going to shoot to a point and say, whoa, hold on here, high speed. You're talking about doing some resection? So how many points do you need to build
algorithm
known points out in front of you?
Wow, wait a minute here.
Or around you.
Now, talking about millionaires, you need to pay a little bit. There's a good message.
I don't know
where this comes in, the vice president, and, make you nervous.
So don't feed crap
the
answer if you can't back it up. And again, this is not just, as it relates to a board appearance.
I gotta allow, when that gets to the stone mill.
Stop and ask you a question, and that initial answer might be true, but is there more meat? Is there more substance? Is there some dadgum gravy to pour on those potatoes?
But once there's a nuke on the board, it doesn't matter.
Be careful with how questions are asked.
That's real dangerous because it doesn't matter.
Because how they are asked
Round robins on the tablets of the Scout Keepers,
the next question,
or what's going around Egypt there, or whichever structure is going to ping.
Is you are preparing to move and march your squad
very cliffish
from your company operations facility to your motor pool.
Stoker is one soldier. They use the medallion. It is.
Hey, Sarge, man, it's 2022. Why are we marching?
You multi-domain.
What is your response?
Why are you not stoked?
Now, as you can imagine, most people's response generally comes across like, well, it promotes good order and discipline.
These are kill agents. You've got to have something ready for this short.
Whatever, right?
These are some bad nasties. Stoker is one.
So it promotes good order and discipline.
There's, learn to walk again.
So when is the last time that you marched your squad anywhere?
Not only your first one, but anything.
You know what the answer is? They haven't done it.
Sure haven't.
At all. Ever. So if you think that doing this thing promotes good order and discipline,
the amount of mass
why
that a
aren't
guy
you
like
doing
Stoker
it?
at E7's got on me just by
If
the
you think that
fundamental
doing this
grind
task
of testing and boards
embodies the profession of arms,
I'm sure.
why aren't you
the Navy
doing
Admiral
it?
pass somewhere around
Again, sometimes it comes across as a DNC question. Other times it's a uniform inspection, right? You're getting ready to prepare for payday activities or whatever the case is. You know that everybody's going to be in ASUs or their greens, and so you tell your squad that you're going to inspect your squad.
Also,
right?
MN.
How are you going to do that?
M1, M2.
Well, you got to make sure. Blase. Great. When is the last time that you got your squad? Not because somebody else above you told you to do it.
That spot,
but because you said we are going to do this. When's the last time that you did it?
Are going to take dozer times that we have to know. Land nav.
When's the last time that you took your team and went and did sergeant's time training? When is the last time that you took your squad
because you want your kids to
and you shared a meal
to have
together?
The generation on it.
It's a defect.
In the end, Hunter Biden out there.
When is the last time that you inspected
not just doing
your soldiers' barracks rooms,
but then leaving it wide open? I gotta take your sheriff out of town.
You see, all these types of questions about basic leadership, and too many times we get the A answer right because it sounds good, it briefs well.
Touches down.
But in execution, team, we are sucking at this. You can't stand by and wait idly for somebody else around
Stoker brought him to my house. I'd know things.
In your sphere of leadership to tell you
Thank you very much,
how to do your stinking job.